Hello viewers, welcome to our channel Living Healthy. This is Anuradha Chaudhary, fitness and wellness expert from Kolkata. Today we are here to discuss vitamin D in health and disease. Vitamin D, otherwise known as sunshine vitamin, is one of the most important vitamins for us. Vitamin D plays an important role in maintaining good health of bones, teeth, and many other systems. Many serious diseases such as multiple sclerosis, cancer, and stroke are also linked to vitamin D deficiency. Adequate and regular exposure to sunlight is essential to maintain normal vitamin D levels. Vitamin D deficiency is common, however, it remains underdiagnosed and undertreated. The purpose of this webinar is to raise awareness about vitamin D deficiency, signs and symptoms of vitamin D deficiency and treatment of vitamin D deficiency. For this, we have Dr. Sudhir Kumar, consultant neurologist, Apollo Hospital, with us. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you, Anuradha. I think it was, as you mentioned, vitamin D is one of the most important vitamins for us and one of the essential vitamins for us. And as you mentioned that, because of lack of awareness, many patients with vitamin D deficiency, they are not diagnosed and not treated. And so I think this webinar would be useful for most people, as recent studies have shown that almost 70 to 80% could have vitamin D deficiency. So to start off, to kickstart the discussion, I would like to ask you, Anu, how is vitamin D obtained by us?
Actually, vitamin D is the only vitamin that can be synthesized in our body from a provitamin. It forms D3 is synthesized from 7-dehydrocholesterol at the skin surface on exposure to UV light, that is sunlight. D2 is obtained from plant and other food sources. Vitamin D is obtained from sunlight exposure, certain foods, and through food supplements.
So that means our body can produce vitamin D. So can you throw some light on how our body can produce vitamin D?
Yes, when ultraviolet rays from sunlight strikes our skin, vitamin D is produced. However, this vitamin D is inert, it is inactive. It must undergo chemical changes in liver and kidney to form an active form of vitamin D, also known as calcitriol.
So now that you have told that we can all produce our vitamin D and we don't need to depend so much on the food. So can you also tell us how much time do we need to spend in the sun to get adequate amounts of vitamin D?
Exact time is not known as it depends on skin color and the amount of skin exposed. However, about 20 minutes a day should be sufficient. In 3 days in a week, ensure that your arms, forearms, lower legs are uncovered and you have not applied any sunscreen. People with darker skin complexion need to spend long time. The best time to expose our skin to sun is between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Longer duration exposure to sunlight should be avoided as it can lead to skin burn and there is increased risk of skin cancer.
Yes, so I think that's a very useful point you have mentioned that we need to expose our skin for at least 20 minutes and at least about 3 days in a week. So about 1 hour in a week is sufficient. In a country like ours, we have adequate sunlight throughout the year, but many countries are not that fortunate. Like in UK and in Canada, many they don't have enough sunlight, so they need to think of other reasons. Many times they come to countries like India to get adequate vitamin. So we are lucky that way. So so that is one source. The main source for us is sunlight exposure. But I know that there are also some dietary sources of vitamin D. So can you tell us, tell our viewers, what are the dietary sources of vitamin D?
Vitamin D can be obtained from oily foods such as salmon, sardines, mackerels, herrings, red meat, whole eggs, cod liver oil, fish, and dairy products. Certain foods such as infant formulated milk, breakfast cereals, fat spreads, and non-dairy milk alternatives are fortified with vitamin D. Supplements can also be taken.
Ye-
Now it's your turn, doctor. Uh,
Yes.
who are the people prone to develop D deficiency?
Yes, I think see there are some not all are prone to develop vitamin D deficiency. So in that, if you look at most the biggest group for us is people who stay mostly indoors, and that includes many housewives who need to stay at home for doing the household chores, and then many elderly people who, because of disabilities or chronic diseases, they cannot step out of their homes. So obviously they cannot get adequate sunlight, and nowadays many people work long hours. We know that there are many people who, by the time they get up, it's too late. They get up by say 9 or 10 o'clock. They sit in the AC car, go to their offices, and by the time they return home, it's 10 or 11 at night. So they don't see the sunlight at all. So that group, the working class, also is prone to get vitamin D deficiency. Then we have a list of people who have diseases like intestinal absorption. So they have some disease like Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, where the vitamin D cannot get absorbed in the intestine, or somebody who's got liver or kidney disease. As you already mentioned that we need liver and kidney, chemical changes to form active vitamin D. So those who have chronic kidney disease or liver disease, they can also suffer from vitamin D deficiency. And also, dietary patterns. So we know that there are many sources of vitamin D which are from non-veg food. So people who rely mostly on the veg food can also have vitamin D deficiency. And one more risk factor is obesity. So we know that people are obese, which is defined as body mass index of more than 30. They have a lot of fat cells. So vitamin D gets, they get stored in the fat cells, and they don't release the vitamin D for active use. So that is why they are more prone to develop vitamin D deficiency. And finally, older age people, because the skin is fragile, and that's not they're not able to make adequate amounts of vitamin D when exposed to sunlight.
My next question is, can medication cause vitamin D deficiency?
That's also important to know, because there are some medications such as steroids, which are commonly used for treating many conditions. Orlistat, it's one of the drugs used to reduce obesity. Anti-TB drugs like rifampicin, drugs for treating epilepsy like phenobarbital or phenytoin, and also some cholesterol-lowering drugs like statins, if used over long periods of time, can cause vitamin D deficiency. So these are all important drugs. So it's not that we have to avoid them totally, but if a patient needs these medications, we have to be aware that there could be vitamin D deficiency, and we have to supplement these patients with vitamin D also.
Doctor, how is vitamin D deficiency diagnosed?
The diagnosis is quite simple. It is with a simple blood test we can diagnose, but it doesn't mean that we have to subject everyone for a vitamin D blood test, because not all will get. So as I discussed that there are certain groups who are more prone to develop vitamin D deficiency, we should check in them. And also, if somebody has got signs and symptoms like bone pain, we'll discuss later. If they have signs and symptoms of vitamin D deficiency, again in those patients we have to check for vitamin D deficiency.
Doctor, what is the normal vitamin D level?
So the normal vitamin D we check in nanograms per ml, and 30 to 50 is thought to be normal. Less than 30 is insufficient. If somebody has got less than 20, it is deficiency. And then again, 50 to 100 is border zone high. More than 100 can be toxic also.
What are the common symptoms of vitamin D deficiency?
So vitamin D deficiency can have sometimes very non-specific symptoms like generalized aches and pains. We get many people who say, "Doctor, I've got low back pain, I've got leg pains, hand pains." And when you examine them, there is nothing. It looks totally normal. So many of these so-called people who have vague aches and pains could be having vitamin D deficiency. And sometimes people say, "I get easily fatigued, easily tired when I start running, or when I do normal household chores, I get tired." So that also could be a symptom of vitamin D deficiency, and it is used for bone health, as I mentioned. So people with vitamin D deficiency can have reduced bone mineral density, or also called osteoporosis. And because of weak bones, when they fall down, they can get fractures, especially in older people. When they fall, they have fracture of femur bone, and that can add to the disability. And also they have increased risk of muscle pain and cramps. So these are some of the common symptoms which can happen with vitamin D deficiency.
Is vitamin D deficiency linked to certain serious illness too?
Yes, so of course, in the previous list also I mentioned about fractures which could be serious and disabling, but there are other serious conditions also that have been linked with vitamin D deficiency, and that includes hypertension like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart diseases, certain cancers of like colon, prostate, and breast cancers. In a nervous system, there is a disease called multiple sclerosis where the white matter, the covering of the nerves called myelin sheath, that gets damaged. That also has been linked with vitamin D deficiency, and certain infections. So vitamin D plays a major role in our immune system, and deficiency of vitamin D can reduce our immunity. and lead to, make us more prone to infections also.
How is vitamin D deficiency treated?
So treatment also is easy, because if somebody has deficient or less vitamin D, we have to give supplements. And supplements, it comes in various formulations, like we have syrups, we have tablets, and we also have injections. So depending on the, if somebody has got severe deficiency, obviously we need to bring the levels up higher much faster. So we need to give them injections. Whereas somebody has got mild deficiency or less symptoms, we could use tablets. And then the dose of tablets and how long we should use, we need to consult your doctor, and then after that we should decide. So don't self medicate.
Doctor, is there something called too much of vitamin D or vitamin D toxicity?
Yes, that is the reason I mentioned that one should not self medicate. So any good thing also, if it is done in too much excess, can be harmful, and vitamin D is one such case. So vitamin D is good for us provided it is in adequate amounts. So if somebody, supplements their diet, or it takes too much of vitamin D supplement which are available, over the counter, we don't need doctor's prescription also, and that can lead to vitamin D toxicity. And patients can have many symptoms because of vitamin D toxicity, such as they can have lethargy, dehydration, nausea, vomiting, and even some serious conditions like, confusion, disorientation. And I have seen patients in coma also. So they will come in totally complete unconscious state, because this vitamin D is not water soluble; it is fat soluble. So it goes to fat cells, and also it can go to liver and brain. And if it gets stored in the brain functions, they get affected. So generally, if a person, and the good thing to know is that it can only happen with tablets. It cannot happen with sunlight exposure. So if you are thinking that, you mentioned that only 20 minutes of sunlight exposure. So if somebody is working in sun for 6-7 hours, will they get too much of vitamin D? The answer is no. So that doesn't cause, only tablets can cause that. So I think, we had a very good discussion so far, and but we also need to know, two other things. Uh, I think one is to look at the vitamin D content of various foods, and then how much vitamin D do we need per day. So I think we need your information, Anu, on these two topics
Yes,
also.
sure, doctor. Sure, doctor. Let me share the screen. Can you able to see the screen?
Yes, we can see that. Yes.
So here are some food and content of vitamin D of various foods. Food like cod liver oil. 1 tablespoon of cod liver oil has 1360 IUs of vitamin D. IU stand for International Unit. It is used to measure vitamins and minerals in our diet. Second is swordfish cooked 3 ounce. It has 566 IUs of vitamin D. Salmon cooked 3 ounce has 447 IUs of vitamin D. Tuna canned in water drained 3 ounce has 154 international unit of vitamin D. Orange juice fortified with vitamin D 1 cup has 137. Milk fortified with uh, vitamin D 1 cup has 115 to 124 IUs of vitamin D. Yogurt again fortified with vitamin D has 80 IUs. Liver beef cooked, that is cooked, 3 ounce has 42 IUs. Egg yolks, one large egg yolk has 41 international unit of vitamin D. Again, cereals which are fortified, 10% fortified with vitamin D, 1 cup of cereal has 40 IU. Swiss cheese, 1 ounce has 6 international unit of vitamin D. Now, this is how much vitamin D we need per day. First one is RDA, that is IU per day, and second is upper level intake, that is the highest level of vitamin D that can be taken in a day. For infants from 0 to 6 months, it is for 400, and upper level is 1000. For infants 6 to 12 months, it's 400, and upper level is 1500. Children between 1 to 3 years old has 600 RDA, IU in a day, and the upper limit is 2500. Children between 4 to 8 years has 600 RDA in a day, and upper level is 3000. People between 9 to 70 years has 600 IU in a day, and upper limit is 4000. People over 70 years old has 800 IU in a day, and upper level is 4000. Female between 40 to 50 years or pregnant and lactating women should have 600 RDA in a day, and upper limit is 4000 IU in a day. Today we have discussed a lot about vitamin D. So doctor, can you summarize the topic?
Yes, I think we went through a lot of things about vitamin D, in a short time. So sometimes it can get confusing. So it is our also duty to, summarize the discussion what we had so far. So I think what we started off with is that, vitamin D is very important for us, and it can be obtained from the sunlight. It is free. Always we talk about saying that, many things cost us money, but vitamin D is free. We just need to expose our skin to sunlight for about 20 minutes in a day, 3 days in a week, and we get adequate amounts of vitamin D. In our country, we are lucky that we have sunshine, throughout the year, unlike many other European countries and North American countries. So we should take advantage of that. Try to get up early, or come back home early and then exposed to sunlight. You can also, go for a short walk or whatever. So it can be like, two benefits. But if someone is not able to do that, we have many good vitamin D supplements are there. And as Anu has rightly pointed out, that we need about 600 units of minimum requirement per day. And so there are many tablets which give us 1000 IUs per day, or we can take the tablets of 60,000 IUs. We can take one in a month, and that will take care of for entire month also. And then Anu also highlighted about many foodstuffs which are mainly cod liver oil and many types of fish which has good amounts of vitamin D, which can be incorporated in our diet. Or if not possible for vegetarians and for infants, we have fortified foods like milk and other things, cereals which have vitamin D in them. So when we go to for grocery shopping, we can look for that because they need to mention by law how much of vitamin D is there in that. So we can we have a rough idea of that also. And then we also looked at the various symptoms and signs of vitamin D deficiency, mainly aches and pains, muscle cramps, and also bones get weaker. So if they fall, they can have fracture, and serious conditions like high BP, high sugar, strokes, and cancers also are linked to vitamin D deficiency. And diagnosis is easy by a simple blood test, and also treatment is easy because we have so many medications. And the finally, one word of caution we said is that don't over medicate because there is a real risk of vitamin D toxicity. So too much of vitamin D can cause toxicity, and sometimes it can lead to serious symptoms also. So with these few words, I would like to close the discussion, and I think you all must have had a good time of learning from our discussion, and I hope you enjoyed it also. Over to you, Anu.
Yeah, thank you viewers for watching us. If you really like our channel, do subscribe it. And if you want to ask any query from our doctors, do write to us, free write to us, and do appreciate us so that we will come up with a few more information to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.